How old are you going to be in 25 years? How old are your kids going to be? Your grandkids, your great-grandkids? These are potentially some of the issues that they're going to run into with food. Hello, everybody. Welcome to SuttonsDaze. My name is Lisa, and if you're new here, we are all about pantry preparedness. Yes, we are. And today we're going to talk about 16 foods that could be extinct in 25 years. By 2050, they expect the world population to be at 9.8 billion people, with much greater stress upon the food supply. They predict that demand for food will be 60% higher than it is today, 60% higher. But we do throw away and waste 30 to 40% of the food produced today. And whether you call it the grand solar minimum, the grand solar maximum, climate change, whatever you call it, the fact of the matter is the climate is changing, okay? And this is causing massive amounts of stress on our food supplies. Let's talk about which ones we have to be the most worried about. First, real quick, what is causing this, right? First, real quick, this is what they say is causing it. Demand will be 60% higher than it is today, but climate change, urbanization, and soil degradation will have shrunk the availability of arable land, according to the World Economic Forum. Climate change is affecting the agriculture of many of the foods that we eat or drink every single day. Climate change has caused problems such as unpredictable seasons, changing weather patterns, rising sea levels, and the extinction of plants and animals. Because of this, some of our favorite foods are slowly disappearing. The United Nations, okay, you ready for this one? Got to read this one. The United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has released a report saying that the world's land and water resources are in danger of disappearing because of climate change. The report says that these natural resources are being used up at a faster rate than ever before, but demand is going to increase by 60% in 25 years. And we're still selling the Great Lakes to Nestle. The soil used to grow crops around the world is disappearing much faster than it can be replaced. This is causing problems for agriculture and could lead to food shortages. Thus, another reason for more permaculture-style food raising than what we have today. So what are these items, Lisa? Oh, you guys, this is going to break your heart like it broke mine. Number one is coffee. Yes, I know, coffee, right? Coffee is one of the most popular drinks in the world. Raise your hand if you love coffee. Yes, okay, it is my life's blood. Many people drink coffee every day, and this creates a lot of waste. Climate change is also making it harder to grow coffee beans. This could mean that we have to drink less coffee in the future. I'm wondering what kind of waste. What kind of waste? I'm going to have to look that up. What kind of waste? So here are some of the reasons why climate changing is making it harder to grow coffee beans, okay? So rising temperatures. We've seen that here, right? Coffee beans are delicate plants that need a specific environment to grow. The warming climate is making it harder to grow coffee beans in some places. I wonder, though, if it would make it easier to grow in other places. If memory serves me correct, M.I. Gardner grew some coffee beans. We're in Michigan. It's cold. Decreasing sunlight. The amount of sunlight that coffee plants receive is decreasing in some places. This is making it harder for them to grow and produce the beans. If you garden in any way, shape, or form, you know that the amount of sunlight will really impact the productivity of your plants. So, yeah, that makes sense, right? Increasing insect population. As the climate warms, insect populations are increasing. These insects can destroy coffee beans and reduce the quality of beans that are produced. So for any of my southern friends, okay, what you don't get is the dying off period that us in the northern climate do. We have a dying off period, which means that our bugs don't get the size of your face because winter is here, and the cold weather is here. And so that keeps them at a manageable size, as opposed to the palmetto bugs that you can saddle and ride in the southern part of the country. So as far as coffee goes, this means that there could be less available to us, obviously. And because of supply and demand, it means it could be much more expensive. Number two on the list, chocolate. Chocolate is life to a lot of people, right? Cocoa trees are used to make chocolate. They grow in rainforests that have warm temperatures and a lot of rain. Climate change is making the rainforests hotter and drier, which is making it harder for cacao trees to grow. Along with that, the destruction of the rainforest, right? If we don't take action to address what's happening there with the rainforest, cacao trees could become extinct by 2050. This would mean that chocolate would be much more expensive or even impossible to find. Number 3, I've read a few differing articles on this, but we're still going to put it on the list. Honeybees, honeybees are important for the environment and our food supply, but their numbers are declining due to climate change and other factors. Now, I did just read a pretty good article in the New York Times about how it's actually not benefiting us that every Tom, Dick, and Harry is out there putting up beehives. So this one is kind of borderline. I have to get more information. But I was all ready to go get beehives. I have little to no interest in raising bees, but I was going to go do it just to increase, the bee population in the area, the honeybee population. And then I read that article and went, maybe not a good idea. Yeah. So do some research on this one. Okay. The loss of honeybees could lead to a decline in the honey supply and higher prices for some foods such as almonds, because we need the bees. The bees are important. This one's gonna mess with some folks. Yes, it is, because if you are an avocado freak, avocados are in trouble. Avocado is a popular fruit, and they're in danger of becoming extinct due to the change in climate. The increasing demand for avocados has put a strain on water resources and contributed to deforestation. Just because you want green stuff on your toast. I know. California, a major avocado producer, is facing challenges due to heat waves and droughts. Experts predict that the avocado population could shrink by half by 2050. And avocados are just becoming more popular and more popular and more popular. It's either coffee or wine, my friends, right? Okay, so wine grapes need specific conditions to grow, including warm temperatures, limited water, and rough soil. I didn't know that about the rough soil. Climate change is making it harder for grapes to grow, and some wine-producing regions could see a 56% loss in production as a result. The heat is also affecting the taste of some wines, making them sweeter and less acidic. This will make it harder for farmers to harvest grapes at the right time for the best taste. They're going to take away our coffee and our wine. I love me some shrimp. I do. Seafood is being affected by climate change in several ways, my friends, okay? Including water pollution, warmer water temperatures, and ocean acidification. Tropical areas are expected to see a decline in seafood catch up to 40% by 2050. Freshwater fish are also being affected by climate change, with a third of them threatened with extinction. This one is heartbreaking. Strawberries. What? Yes, strawberries, okay? Strawberries are a popular fruit. They're high in nutrients and vitamins, and oh my gosh, they taste amazing, right? They are the taste of summer, my friends. However, strawberries are also at risk of going extinct due to the changing climate. Climate change is causing strawberries to flower later in the year, which is leading to fruit shortages. It's also making it harder to grow strawberries because they require a lot of water and cool temperatures. As a result, strawberries are becoming more expensive and harder to find. Bananas, right? Bananas are a popular fruit. They're grown in many countries around the world. But climate change is having a mixed impact on banana production. So check this one out. Some countries, such as Ecuador and Honduras, are seeing an increase in crop production due to rising temperatures. So because it's getting warmer there, they are producing more bananas. However, other countries, such as India, the Ivory Coast, and Brazil, are experiencing a decline in crop yield because of climate change. In addition, climate change could accelerate the risk of crop diseases, which could have a significant impact on the global supply of bananas. One of the simplest foods around, right? Typically, very, very affordable, plentiful. You can always get your hands on it. Potatoes. Potatoes are a popular food that is being affected. In some places, such as England and Europe, farmers are not able to grow as many potatoes due to the lack of rainfall. In other places, such as Peru, Farmers are having to move to higher altitudes to grow potatoes because the sea level is rising. This is making it harder to grow potatoes and causing potato prices to go up. How many of you planted potatoes this year? We didn't. I don't eat that many, so it doesn't make sense for me. But a grow bag and some soil, you can grow some potatoes, okay? And it probably wouldn't hurt for a lot of us to cut back on it. I know. But, yeah, potatoes could be in danger because of this. This one breaks my heart. But luckily, I get my blueberries locally. So blueberries, Peru is a major exporter of blueberries. They saw its exports drop by more than half this year due to unusually high air temperature, especially during the berries' flowering process, right? Local experts believe that the natural phenomenon, El Nino, we've all heard about it all fall long, right, is the cause of the extreme stress on the blueberry plantations and the resulting reduction in yield. The shortage has affected global markets, obviously, right, including the U.S., where supplies have dropped by 70% in recent months. This has caused prices to increase by 60% to nearly $6 a pound in retail stores, and Americans are buying 27 million pounds less of blueberries than they did last year. Find a blueberry farm, people, and understand that it's not a year-round luxury. It's a seasonal luxury. We need to get back to eating seasonally. We really do. Limes. Where's the tequila? I'm not talking about tequila. I'm talking about limes. Go put your party dress away, okay? Peru has experienced a shortage of limes due to extreme weather events like El Nino also, and other weather and rain fluctuations, right? These events have delayed and threatened the lime blossoms, leading to one of the most disastrous agricultural seasons in recent decades. Peru's getting hammered. In the city of Olmos, OLMOS. Climate change, lack of fertilizer access, and government support caused lime production to drop from 400 tons to just 1 per week. 400 tons of limes. That, wow. In Mexico, droughts in 2020 and severe flooding in 21 also hit the lime growers hard. This is not ending soon, you guys. I've been telling you this for a while now, right? We're not done. Much like the limes, we've also got the oranges. I've talked about the oranges before. Oranges are facing production challenges due to a combination of factors, because one's not enough, we need many, including bacterial diseases and climate change-induced extreme weather. In 2022, Florida, which produces 90% of the country's orange juice supplies, was hit by several hurricanes and freezing conditions, decimating orange yields in the state. Now, to listen to some of the commenters on previous videos, those are not the only factors. The other factor is mankind going in there and taking out orchards to put up condos because more people need to live in Florida. Brazil, the world's largest orange juice exporter, right, also saw a steep decline in orange juice stocks due to various factors. Globally, orange juice production in the 2022-23 financial year experienced a 9% decrease. Doesn't sound like a lot? It's a lot. Peaches. We've been paranoid about peaches for a couple years, it seems like, right? People are like, they couldn't get it from that fruit truck thing. They were harder to obtain. The weather made it wonky, and so the blossoms were killed on the trees. Peaches have been top of mind for a hot minute. They're a difficult crop to grow because they require a lot of labor and are sensitive to changes in the weather. Climate change is making it even harder to grow peaches. In the U.S., late freezes have destroyed a significant portion of the peach harvest in recent years. In Europe, drought and floods have also affected peach production. We're not alone. It's not just us. It's not all about us. As a result, there have been a decline in a global supply of peaches. So I don't want to mess this one up, but while crops across the world are being affected due to climate change, so are meat and seafood, right? In the U.S., for example, 22 cattle died in Nebraska heat wave, while ranchers in Oklahoma said their cattle were drinking twice as much water as usual to survive a heat danger advisory. Even when it isn't fatal, heat stress can affect livestock's milk yield and fertility, and can also harm the people who care for those animals and farms, writes The Guardian. So the extreme temperatures, the extreme weather are killing the animals. Now, I know 22 doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot of beef, okay? And it's putting them at risk. They are consuming more. They are less productive. And the people that take care of them are at a higher risk. Being a cowboy is no joke. Have you seen Yellowstone lately? The heat waves that take place on land occur underwater also. So as the ocean absorbs 90% of the excess heat linked to global warming, one study found that cold abalone, Chinook salmon, and Dungeness crabs suffered during the 2013 to 16 marine heat wave, which generated toxic algae blooms that led to the closure of California's Dungeness crab fishery. So it's impacting everything. Water heats up too. So that's going to impact everything in the ocean, outside of the ocean. Last but not least, they're coming for your cheese. I mean, can this list get any worse? Seriously. So we just discussed the fact that the heat, the extreme temperatures are affecting the livestock, which is affecting their production, right? So it's also it's also affecting the ability to get the ingredients to make cheese. French cheesemakers are finding it hard to meet the country's strict quality standards due to their inability to follow traditional methods for quality cheeses, which has impacted the cheese market. Just like with everything else that we do, there are standard old-fashioned ways that things are done. And due to times or science or whatever, things have had to change. Well, due to temperatures and the climate change, being able to do what they do old style with good quality cheeses is becoming harder and harder to make happen. Standards of some cheeses can cover all stages of the cheese making process, including what the animals eat and graze. There's a reason everybody likes certain butters, right? But hotter and drier summers are killing pastures. One French cheese requires 7 months of grazing on a mountain pasture, but this cheese has stopped being made as there isn't enough grass to do so. So I don't know about you. I think we're okay for making farmer's cheese, right? I'm not looking for a specialty cheese. I'm never looking for a specialty cheese. But I can see, that's, at the end of the day, that's jobs, people. That's income. That's livelihoods, right? I'm not looking, wine won't make or break me, truth be told. But again, that's jobs. That's people's livelihood. This is impacting everything, everyone. And it's making a case for those people that want us to eat bugs and want us to eat nothing but vegetables, to eat fake meat, to eat lab-produced meat. We're making their case for them because of decisions that we're making or the fact that they don't understand that climate change happens. Now, we may be pushing it along a little faster than normal, but it's cyclical. It's going to happen anyway, okay? It's part of what happens in this world. But by making better choices today, us, if we're still around, I hope to still be around in 25 years, us, if we're still around, our kids, our grandkids, our great-grandkids, generations to come, are going to rely on us learning how to produce more of our own food, okay? Learning how to take better care of our planet, learning that convenience is not everything. And so I'm going to wing right back around to Nestle sucking all the water out of the Great Lakes. It is criminal that they are doing this because the Great Lakes are, 25% of the water that's actually usable. It's not salt water, right? Why are we allowing them to fill bottles with this? Why do we have to have plastic bottles filled with water? Why? Somebody tell me why you can't grab up a thermos and use that. Be a grown-up. Do what you're supposed to do. Help make things better. Yeah, we're going to put people out of work if they're not bottling water. They'll find something else to destroy. It's pretty much a given. I forgot. There's one more. There's one more. Last but not least, for real this time, seeds. We talked about this last summer after Emma Gardner put out a video. And it makes perfect sense, right? If you are not... we were being impacted by the smoke from the fires in Canada. And so a lot of the farmers that he deals with were being impacted by the smoke coverage. And so their production was going to be lower due to less sunlight. We talked about this earlier too. So they were already predicting, 10 to 20% decrease in harvesting of seeds. So climate change is threatening the availability of seeds, which are essential for food growth. Yeah, we know. Seed farmers are facing challenges such as droughts, floods, and storms, which are leading to crop failures. This is happening at a time when the demand for seeds is higher due to food shortages. This situation is likely to get worse if we don't take action to better address climate change. So for 2024, let's take a step back and let's start gathering our own seeds. Let's start sourcing them from heritage providers like M.I. Gardner. Let's start ensuring that we can get good quality, real food for the foreseeable future. This gives us a lot to think about. It kind of, I joke about it a little bit, coffee, chocolate, wine. Oh my gosh, but this is serious. This is very serious. And 25 years is not that far away. Now, some of us may or may not be here when that time comes, but some of us may be. And you may want to take steps to ensure that your family that is here beyond you actually has something worth living in, has food worth ingesting, instead of the garbage that they're trying to pass off, the processed food. I hope this gives you a little something to think about. I hope it made you giggle during some of it. Be sure to check out this video here for more information on the seed shortages. And until next time, everybody, be safe.